Hello, and welcome to RadGCrypto, my channel. Thank you for coming by. This is a place where you can get the latest news about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, and where I share my opinions. I am no financial advisor, and by all means, always do your due diligence before you decide on doing anything with crypto. However, you can listen to me, and if you like what I say, you might even hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. That would be greatly appreciated. As you can see, I'm just starting, but I think I have a lot to say, and I'm pretty happy today. I'm feeling very excited. That's even so that I see a bloodbath on the markets, crypto markets right now. When you look at the coin market cap, there's a sea of red, basically all over, last week and last day, which doesn't compute really, in my opinion. Bitcoin was never more bullish, in my opinion, than it is now. And to prove that point, let me just tell you something about Fidelity. So this asset management giant is filing for Bitcoin ETF. So the same day or day after they filed, this is March 24th, and I'm recording this today at 6 p.m., March 25th, Eastern Time in Toronto. So a day after the giant Fidelity management, asset management institution files for a Bitcoin ETF. So they want to get into Bitcoin, selling Bitcoin, holding Bitcoin, not trading it. Day after that, Bitcoin starts falling. The price starts falling from 58,000 back almost to 50,000 today. Um, it's, in my opinion, this is just nonsense. Yes, it's happening. Obviously, it's a fact. And there's two reasons. So let's say you have $1 billion you wanted to put, or $1 million you wanted to put into Bitcoin and buy it today. You go to Coinbase and you say, hey guys, I have a suitcase of money here of cash and I want to buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin today. They're not going to let you go to the Coinbase Pro and buy it as any other, regular person like you and me, working stiff, to go and buy one Bitcoin at a time. No, they're going to let you something, through something called OTC, over the counter, which means that you're going to be able to exchange this directly for $1 million worth of Bitcoin and put it into your wallet as an institution, and nobody will know about it. It's not going to make a blip on the markets, while it should. If there was $1 million worth of orders on the market, price will go up, obviously, because demand is obviously big. So this is just one of the big institutions. Not to mention that this Fidelity, they're really smart guys. Obviously, they were one of the first ones to get into the Bitcoin mining, which is mind-boggling when you look at it from this perspective now. That Fidelity would start the mining 6 years ago. The giant fund manager Fidelity International holds roughly 10% stake in the Bitcoin mining company Hut 8. I never heard of that, Hut 8, but I heard of Fidelity and I heard that they are doing some mining. For 6 years, they're doing this. Imagine what was the price of Bitcoin 6 years ago? It was not even, what, 150 bucks, 200 bucks? So for 6 years now, Fidelity, the firm that currently manages 8 trillion on behalf of its customers, has been mining the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. This is the same company that now is filing to be able to do a Bitcoin ETF. What does this tell you? And now, when you look at the markets, it's all red, and Bitcoin is down to 52,000. Now, mind you, 52,000 US dollars for one Bitcoin. It's insanely great price, in my opinion. For when I got into Bitcoin, it was way, 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 way lower than that. And You know, it's like just mind-boggling to me that somebody would say, "Oh, Bitcoin crashed down to 52,000." I don't know. Anyway, Fidelity. This is just one. This is like a tip of an iceberg. One of the huge institutions with trillions of dollars of assets under management, and they're all clamoring to get into Bitcoin. One of the ways to get into it is to get officially approved for an ETF. Now, there's another one. Goldman Sachs files to offer notes linked to an ARK ETF that may have Bitcoin exposure. So this is like a roundabout way of saying we're gonna, make it so that it appears that we're not directly into Bitcoin, but we have Bitcoin exposure. Why would they do this? Just a year ago, Jamie Dimon, who was like a CEO of Goldman Sachs, is like, anybody who trades Bitcoin in my company, I'm going to fire them. Literally. That was what he said. And now, look at this. So that's not the only one. Apart from those two, there's JMP Securities. They expect 1.5 trillion to flow into Bitcoin as retail wealth management industry follows Morgan Stanley to offer Bitcoin to clients. So, and now look at this. Again, I'm telling you, this doesn't compute. Somebody is trying to get into Bitcoin massively on the cheap. I mean, $52,000 cheap, right? So don't panic. My advice, I'm no financial advisor by all means, but my advice would be if you have any Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, but especially Bitcoin, you're so way ahead of curve. It doesn't matter how much you have. You're going to be, a year from now, you're going to be sitting, sipping some nice, cool drink and thinking to yourself how smart you were to get into it at the time you did. Your future self is going to be really thankful to you. So this trend continues. This is like a huge wall of money waiting to get into Bitcoin. Um, Another thing I also noticed, Willy Woo, who is really famous on Twitter. He's like a Bitcoin analyst, a smart guy, obviously, and a lot of people are following him because of this. He's commenting on the Elon Musk statement today that he's going to be accepting officially Bitcoin as a payment for his Tesla cars. So he says Musk more or less announced that if you buy a Tesla with Bitcoin, you add to the Bitcoin supply shock. What does he mean by that? Supply shock is when there's not enough Bitcoin on the exchanges or it gets less and less available for trade. And this is what's happening right now. There's a huge ETF company, institutional investors coming with the trillions of dollars. They want to buy $1 billion worth. And basically, maybe you know, maybe you don't, but there's only 900 Bitcoins mined every day. 900. And these companies want to buy 2, 3, 5, 10,000 of Bitcoins each day if they can. So what's the way to do it? You have to put some fear into the general public that this is going to be either banned or is going to crash. And then people, they just start selling, thinking, oh, better I sell with a little bit of profit. Who's buying this? Ask yourself, who is buying all this Bitcoin? It's just not sitting there on the exchange. It gets bought. So this is the supply shock that Willy Woo is talking about. All these big institutions, they're buying it, like Grayscale, for example. They're the biggest institution holding crypto assets right now for clients, more than 44 billion worth. And are they going to put this Bitcoin back into the market? I don't think so. So that means that every day somebody big buys a lot of Bitcoin and takes it off of the market. The float goes down. The number of available Bitcoins goes down. And this is the supply shock. But this directly means that the price of Bitcoin is going to go way up very soon. Supercycle may propel Bitcoin over $1 million, Kraken's Dan Held says. Now, according to Dan Held, growth lead at Kraken, which is another exchange, crypto exchange, Bitcoin is currently experiencing a supercycle that could propel it all the way to $1 million. I don't know. This could happen. What I'm sure of, it's not going to stay at 50,000. Right now, Goldman Sachs, Fidelity Investments, and JP Morgan, they all think that $50,000 for one Bitcoin is a bargain. And they're getting into it as and buying as much as they can. So what does that tell you? It's not going to stay at 50,000. In my opinion, it might go to 200, 300,000 this year, maybe even 500,000. It depends how many of these companies apply for the ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs. Obviously, they're getting into it. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Let's go further and explore. Institutional managers hold a record 57 billion worth of crypto, according to CoinShares. Now, this is really interesting thing. Do you think that all of these professionals that are like trained to make money would get into crypto with this much money in order to lose money? I don't think so. Think about it yourself. Inflows into cryptocurrency investment products topped 57 billion last week, marking a new all-time high and underscoring the rapid adoption of digital assets underway among institutions. This is insane. 57 billion. Let's go back and check Coin360. Right now, Bitcoin is recovered a little bit from lows of 51,000 US dollars to 52,000 US dollars. ETH as well, 1,600 bucks. So slowly, it looks like the market is recovering. But as I told you, I'm not concerned at all. I'm really excited. As a matter of fact, I bought a little bit more yesterday and today of Bitcoin, as much as I can. Obviously, not as much as these guys. So there's also an interesting news. You know Jim Cramer from CNBC, television personality and host of Mad Money on CNBC. Jim Cramer proposed a thesis that predicts a new kind of economic boom in the second half of this year. This economic expansion will be better than that of the period between 46 and 53 and be similar to the financial markets of the 1990s. If my boom thesis is true, you are crazy not to have Bitcoin. I don't care if it's $70,000 right now. I'd be saying the same thing. The boom means Bitcoin. Now, this is the same guy that was, telling everybody just a year ago, or maybe even sooner, the Bitcoin is, nonsense. Basically, cryptocurrency is nonsense, and he was into gold. Right now, guess what? He started selling his gold investments and buying Bitcoin. He bought, I think he says somewhere here, about $500,000 worth of Bitcoin. Anyway, and look at this. He bought it at a bargain price of 52,000, or maybe a little bit less than that. Think about it. What does that tell you about the Bitcoin price? What is it going to go? This time next week, when we're going to talk about this might as well be $68,000, $70,000. We'll see. And to finish off my episode today, just wanted to remind you there's 47 million millionaires in the world today, according to Google. And how many Bitcoins are going to be available? 21 million only. 47 million millionaires and only 21 million Bitcoins. And not even now. Right now there's like 18 million available. 21 million is going to be in like 100 years from now. Anyway, thank you very much for joining my channel today and watching this. I hope you liked what you heard and you learned something new. But most of all, I hope that I helped you not panic and keep steady. If you have a little bit of Bitcoin, you're way ahead of the curve. Just keep hodling it and be patient. A year from now, your future self is going to thank you. And thank you very much for joining me. Please subscribe and hit a like, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.